Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Listening Club. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jack.
Today, we're talking about a question that feels very, very human. Why do we forget things so easily?
Oh, that is a perfect topic. I forget little things all the time.
Same here. Sometimes I open my phone, look at the screen, and then think, wait, why did I open this?
Yes. Or you walk into a room, stop, and suddenly your brain goes completely blank.
Exactly. And I think many English learners will understand this topic very easily because memory is part of everyday life. We all want to remember names, words, plans, and important moments.
Right. So today we'll talk about why forgetting happens, why it is actually normal, and what we can do if we want to remember things a little better.
Let's start with a simple idea. Forgetting does not always mean that your brain is weak. In many cases, it means your brain is doing its job.
That sounds surprising at first.
It does. But think about this. Every day we see, hear, and feel so many things. Sounds, faces, messages, numbers, little tasks, small conversations. There is just too much information.
So the brain cannot keep everything.
Exactly. If we remembered every tiny detail from every minute, life would feel very heavy and confusing.
That makes sense. The brain has to choose. It has to say, this is important or this is not important right now.
Yes. So, one big reason we forget things is very simple. The brain filters information. It keeps some things and it lets some things go.
I like that word, filters. It feels true. Our mind is not a perfect camera. It is more like a smart editor.
A smart editor. I like that.
Well, maybe not always smart.
True. Sometimes the editor makes strange choices.
Like remembering a song from 10 years ago, but forgetting where you put your keys 5 minutes ago.
Yes, that happens so often.
So why does that happen? Why do old songs stay in our mind, but simple daily things disappear so fast?
One reason is emotion. When something has emotion, the brain often pays more attention. Music can connect to feelings, memories, places, or people. That makes it stronger in the mind.
So emotion helps memory.
Usually, yes. Also, repetition helps. If you heard that song many times, your brain had many chances to keep it.
That is actually good news for learners. It means memory is not only about talent, it is also about attention and repetition.
Exactly. And that is very important. Many people say, I have a bad memory, but sometimes the real problem is not memory. Sometimes the real problem is attention.
Ah, yes. If we do not really pay attention, the information may never enter memory clearly in the first place.
Right. Let's imagine you meet someone at a party. They tell you their name. But at the same time, music is playing, people are talking, and you are also thinking about what to say next.
So you hear the name, but you do not really hold it.
Yes, the moment is too busy. Your brain does not get a clear signal that says, save this.
That explains a lot. Sometimes I forget names very quickly, and I always feel a little bad about it.
Me too. But it often happens because our attention is divided.
And modern life divides attention all the time.
It really does. Phones, messages, noise, short videos, fast scrolling. Our attention moves very quickly now.
Yes, we live in a world that is always asking us to look somewhere else.
And when attention becomes weaker, memory often becomes weaker too.
So maybe one reason we forget so easily today is not only biology, it is also our daily lifestyle.
I think so. When the mind is always jumping, it is harder to make strong memories.
What about stress? Does stress affect memory too?
Yes, very much. A little stress can sometimes make us more alert, but too much stress can make thinking and memory harder.
Because the mind feels busy and tired.
Exactly. When we are stressed, the brain often focuses on the problem or the fear. It is harder to calmly hold other information.
That is why, during stressful weeks, people forget little tasks, forget where they put things, or forget what they wanted to say.
Yes, it does not always mean something is seriously wrong. Sometimes it simply means the mind is overloaded.
Overloaded is a very good word.
Like having too many tabs open in a browser.
Exactly. Your brain is saying, please close something.
Another very important part of memory is sleep.
Yes, I've heard that sleep helps the brain organize information.
That's right. During sleep, the brain does important work. It helps process the day. It helps move some experiences into longer memory.
So if we sleep badly, memory can suffer.
Yes, after a bad night of sleep, many people feel less focused. They may read something and forget it quickly, or they may lose track of simple tasks.
I've definitely felt that. On tired days, everything feels a little foggy.
Foggy is the perfect word.
So far, we have attention, emotion, repetition, stress, and sleep. That already explains a lot.
It does. And there is one more simple truth. Some things are easier to remember because they connect to meaning.
What do you mean by that?
If information feels meaningful, useful, or personal, the brain often keeps it better. For example, if you learn a new English word and then use it in a real conversation, that word becomes more alive.
Yes, it is not just a word on a list anymore. It becomes part of your real life.
Exactly. But if you see a word once, without emotion, without context, and without repetition, it may disappear very quickly.
Which is why vocabulary lists can feel painful sometimes.
Yes, memory usually works better when the mind has a reason to care.
That is such a useful idea. To remember more, we often need more connection, not just more effort.
Beautifully said.
Thank you. I hope I remember that I said it.
I was just thinking that.
Let's talk about everyday forgetting, like forgetting why you entered a room. Why does that happen?
That is actually very common. Sometimes it happens because your brain changes context. You move from one place to another, and the mind shifts a little too.
So the action of entering a new space can break the mental line.
Yes, you had one small goal, but then your attention changed. Maybe you saw something else. Maybe another thought came in. The original task became weaker.
That makes me feel better. It sounds less like failure and more like normal mental movement.
Exactly. A lot of forgetting is just normal human life.
I think that message is important. People often become hard on themselves. They say, "Why am I like this?"
Yes, but sometimes the kinder question is, am I tired? Am I stressed? Am I distracted? Did I really pay attention?
Those questions are much more helpful.
And they lead us to practical ideas, because there are simple things we can do to support memory.
Good. Let's talk about that.
First, slow down when something matters.
Meaning, give full attention to the important thing?
Yes, if you meet someone new, repeat their name in your mind. If you put your keys somewhere, notice the action. If you read something important, pause for 1 second and really take it in.
So we should not rush every moment.
Right. Memory likes attention. Attention often needs slowness.
I like that. Memory likes attention.
Second, repeat things in a simple way.
Repetition is powerful, even if it feels boring sometimes.
Yes, but it does not always have to feel boring. You can repeat in different ways. Say it, write it, use it, hear it again later.
That is especially helpful for English learners. If you hear a word, then say it, then see it in a sentence, it becomes stronger.
Exactly. Third, connect new information to something you already know.
Give us an example.
Let's say you meet a man named Peter and you already know another Peter. Your brain can build a bridge. Or if you learn the word forest, you can connect it to a real place you visited.
So memory grows better when it has links.
Yes, the mind loves connections.
What about writing things down? Some people worry that writing things down makes memory lazy.
I don't think writing things down is a bad thing. It can actually help. Writing is another way of paying attention. It also reduces stress because you do not have to hold everything in your head.
That is good to hear. I enjoy making small lists.
Small lists can save lives.
Or at least save mornings.
Very true.
Are there simple habits that help memory in the long term?
Yes, sleep well when you can. Rest your mind. Do not try to do too many things at once. Repeat important information and give your brain quiet moments.
Quiet moments feel rare these days.
They do, but even a few quiet minutes can help. When the mind is less noisy, it can hold things more clearly.
So memory is not only about mental power, it is also about mental space.
Yes, that is a lovely way to say it.
I also think people should know that forgetting is selective. We may forget many small details, but remember the feeling of a day.
That is beautiful and very true. Sometimes we do not remember every word someone said, but we remember how they made us feel.
And maybe that is part of being human too.
Yes, memory is not just storage. It is connected to meaning, feeling, and attention.
Before we end, can we give listeners a few very simple memory tips?
Of course.
Great!
Number 1, when something matters, stop and pay full attention.
Number 2, repeat important information more than once.
Number 3, connect new information to a person, place, feeling, or idea you already know.
Number 4, sleep and rest matter more than many people think.
Number 5, be kind to yourself. Forgetting small things is normal.
That last one may be the most important.
I think so too.
So Emma, if you could say one simple sentence about memory, what would it be?
I would say this: we forget easily, not because we are broken, but because the brain is busy, selective, and human.
That is a very good sentence.
Thank you.
My sentence would be, if we want to remember more, we should give more attention, more rest, and more meaning to the things we care about.
I love that.
Good. Please remind me of it tomorrow.
I'll try. So today's idea is simple. Forgetting is a normal part of life. We cannot remember everything, and we do not need to. But attention, repetition, sleep, and meaning can help us remember the things that matter.
And if you forget small things sometimes, you are definitely not alone.
Not at all.
Thanks for spending this time with us.
Thank you so much for listening to English Listening Club.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who is also learning English.
Take care, keep listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye!